Rick and Morty returns with another completely insane adventure in Season 9, Episode 9. What starts as Rick trying to teach Morty and Summer a lesson quickly turns into a story about out-of-control parties, alien kidnappers, and one of the strangest family adventures the series has delivered this season. At the center of it all is a surprisingly meaningful message about how similar every generation of the Smith family really is. The episode begins with Beth and Jerry being called to Morty and Summer's school for a meeting with the dean. The school has reached its breaking point. Ever since Rick became more involved in the children's lives, they have been bringing dangerous alien technology into school and causing complete chaos. The dean finally threatens to expel both of them unless something changes immediately. Beth asks Rick to fix the problem. As expected, Rick's first solution is completely ridiculous. He transforms the dean into a human carrot just to make a point. Realizing that is not exactly helping the situation, Rick decides on another form of punishment. He sends Morty and Summer to a disciplinary summer camp located on another planet where wealthy families send their troublesome children. Naturally, both siblings try everything possible to escape, but Rick successfully drops them off anyway. At first, the camp looks exactly like the strict military-style correction center they expected. However, everything changes almost immediately. The mysterious guards reveal they are actually children themselves. Long ago, the campers overthrew the adults running the camp and have spent years living without rules or supervision. Instead of discipline, the entire camp has become one endless party. For Morty and Summer, this initially feels like paradise. Nobody tells them what to do. There are no adults enforcing rules. Everyone simply spends every day partying and doing whatever they want. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Beth and Jerry discover they finally have the house entirely to themselves. Rather than enjoying a peaceful evening, they immediately begin searching Summer's bedroom for hidden drugs. Their search leads them to a secret compartment where they discover a single strange-looking joint. Without thinking twice, they decide to smoke it. At first, nothing appears unusual. Then their eyes suddenly glow bright blue. The drug is far stronger than either of them expected. Their behavior quickly becomes childish as they laugh uncontrollably and begin acting like teenagers all over again. Eventually, they notice the name written on the package. High Forever. The name immediately terrifies them because they begin wondering whether the effects might actually last forever. Determined to find a cure, they remember Rick once mentioning an intergalactic pharmacy. Using a strange living space taxi, they begin traveling across the galaxy in search of help. The journey quickly becomes another disaster when memories from their high school prom overwhelm them, causing the taxi to crash directly into the pharmacy. Just when things cannot become any stranger, Rick suddenly appears. Unfortunately, he has also become incredibly high after accidentally using the same substance. Now the only person capable of solving the problem is just as intoxicated as everyone else. Back at the summer camp, Morty and Summer continue enjoying their freedom. Days pass, then weeks. Eventually, they begin realizing something important. Living without rules sounds exciting, but eventually it becomes exhausting. The constant partying never stops. There is no structure, no responsibility, and no real friendship. The campers who originally welcomed them slowly reveal a much darker side. Anyone refusing to join their lifestyle becomes the target of bullying and humiliation. The moment that changes everything comes when Morty and Summer are ordered to force-feed alcohol to a baby as part of an initiation ritual. That becomes the final straw. They finally realize this camp is not freedom. It is complete chaos. The siblings immediately escape, hoping to find help somewhere else. Unfortunately, they end up inside a dangerous bar filled with space bandits. When the criminals discover the nearby camp is full of children from extremely wealthy families, they immediately decide to kidnap everyone and demand enormous ransoms. Morty desperately calls Rick for help. Rick attempts to create a portal leading directly to the camp. Despite being heavily intoxicated, he still manages to activate his portal technology. However, in his confused state, he loses his teleprompter during the process, making the rescue even more complicated. By the time Rick, Beth, and Jerry finally arrive, the kidnappers have already captured every child at the camp. Things look hopeless. Then another surprising twist changes everything. The wealthy parents across the galaxy show almost no interest in paying the ransom. Most of them simply do not care enough about their own children to negotiate with the kidnappers. Realizing nobody else is coming to save them, Summer steps forward and takes charge herself. She organizes the frightened campers and prepares to fight back. Even while completely high, Rick remains unbelievably dangerous. With the push of a button, he effortlessly destroys the kidnappers and completely turns the battle around. The rescue succeeds, and the authorities finally arrive to shut down the failed summer camp once and for all. Space Beth also returns to rescue the rest of the family and safely brings everyone home. The episode ends on a surprisingly comforting note. Despite the terrifying name High Forever, the drug does not actually last forever. Rick, Beth, and Jerry are expected to recover after several days. The ending also carries a deeper message beneath all the comedy. Throughout the episode, the adults repeatedly criticize Morty and Summer for their reckless behavior. Yet Beth and Jerry spend most of the episode making equally irresponsible decisions, while Rick continues proving he is the biggest source of chaos in the entire family. The children may have learned many bad habits from Rick, but the adults are not much different. That is exactly what the final scenes emphasize. The Smith family and the Sanchez family all share the same flaws. Whether they are adults or teenagers, they are impulsive, curious, reckless, and constantly creating disasters wherever they go. The episode also explores the idea that complete freedom without responsibility is not true happiness. At first, the lawless summer camp seems like every teenager's dream, but it eventually becomes dangerous because nobody is willing to create order or care for one another. By the end, Morty and Summer understand that having absolutely no rules can become just as miserable as having too many. Overall, Season 9, Episode 9 delivers another hilarious science fiction adventure packed with outrageous comedy, bizarre alien concepts, and plenty of classic Rick and Morty chaos. Beneath all the jokes, the episode quietly reminds viewers that every generation of the Smith family shares more similarities than they would ever like to admit, and sometimes the biggest troublemakers are the adults themselves.